Good morning, everyone. We will now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama to protect and bless us all as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku Prayer, please stand. Taka amahara ni kamuzumarimasu. Kamurogi kamuromi no mikoto mochite. Sumeni oya kamurizanagi no mikoto. Tsukushi no himo kano tachi hana no. Odo no ahagi harani misogi harai kamo. Toki ni narimaseru harai dono o kami tachi moro moro no magagoto sumikegare o harai tamae kiyome tamae tomao sugoto no yoshi o amatsu kami kunitsu kami yaoyorosu no kami tachi tomo ni ame no fuchi koma no mimi furitatete kikoshi meseto kashikomi mo aosu Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Oshie miya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Oshie miya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Kon nagara tamachi haimase. Kon nagara tamachi haimase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan, and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei.
Meishu-sama, bless you.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. Faith. In this world, there are many people receiving God's love and abundant blessings, yet they fail to recognize Him. There are people who insist there is no God, not realizing that through their own words, they are denying their own existence. The future lives of those without faith are like weeds floating upon moving waters, not knowing where to go. Through faith should lead to serenity of mind and a life of happiness and joy. When we attain this state, we perceive the love of God in the sun, the moon, and the stars, in the beauty of nature, the songs of birds, and the perfection of flowers. We recognize God's caring in the abundance with which our every need is supplied, such as food, clothes, and shelter, and for which we express our gratitude. We sense our oneness with all life, not only with people, but with nature, with the plant and animal life all about us. This is a spiritual ecstasy. Upon having done our best in any situation, in that tranquil and happy state of mind, we have perfect trust in God. When I am faced with a difficult problem that seems to defy solution in spite of my best efforts, I turn to God for help and guidance. I release my problem to His wisdom and wait, trusting that the answer will present itself. I can say from experience that even if a prospect looks dark in the beginning, the result is always better than anticipated. God blesses me beyond my dreams in His own ways through His wisdom. It is indeed wonderful. By placing my trust in God, my life has been richly blessed with His miracles.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters. Today I have a faith experience I would like to share with you from the Lisbon Johrei Center, Portugal. It is from Henrique Manuel dos Santos Aparicio. Henrique is 51 years old. And for 30 years, he has felt a great emptiness within him. This feeling was so strong that it took him to try to commit suicide a few times. And he was even admitted to a psychiatric hospital 3 times. He attended several religions to try to neutralize this inner emptiness. However, he remained in an existential crisis that made him emotionally wounded and as a lost person. He prayed to God for guidance and started an internet search to try to find a religion that could rescue him from the hell he was living in. In this search, he found a lecture by a priest of another religion, in which, in his words, he spoke ill of Meishu-sama and the Johrei movement. That got Enrique's attention, and he thought, oh, something is special about this religion because that priest doesn't stop talking about the Johrei movement. It was almost like he was advertising. This prompted Enrique to search further. He started reading the teachings of God revealed to Meishu-sama and was perplexed, for they showed so much love, depth, and affection. He felt peaceful and serene whenever he read them. Meishu-sama's principles were very different from anything he had known in other religions throughout his life. In the meantime, Enrique managed to get in touch with the minister responsible for the area where he lives, who referred him to the nearest Johrei group, where he began to receive Johrei regularly. Shortly after he started receiving Johrei, that inner emptiness that he had for 30 years completely disappeared. He had the opportunity to feel the truth professed by our church through examples that helped him to awaken to faith and correct the lack of consistency that remained in him. He had no more doubts and felt, "This is my last stop. This is where I want to stay until the end of my life." He felt the need to connect to God through Meishu-sama, and consequently, he had the great permission to and happiness of receiving the sacred focal point, O Hikari, to continue his mission. Thereafter, he received guidance from his minister and began with discipline, cleaning all the rooms in his house. On every plate he cleaned, he put all his attention and asked for his spirit to be purified. When he swept the floor, he thought that his aura was being cleaned of all impurities from this and other past experiences. What is most fascinating is that it works. He always feels so much better after this dedication. In the church, he learned that the purest person is the one who sincerely works for the benefit of others. That by channeling Johrei, we are being representatives of God in people's lives, and that we must allow God, through Meishu-sama, to command our lives. Enrique never felt so close to the Creator. It is also through the donations of gratitude that Enrique feels closer to God. That is important to be grateful to Him for all the blessings obtained and to materialize them through offerings of gratitude. He tries in his day-to-day to be concerned to those around him. As a result, he has already been blessed to guide about 30 people to receive Johrei, which makes him very happy. He's following up on 9 of these individuals, and he channels Johrei to them regularly. Enrique is very thankful to God, Meishu-sama, his ancestors, the early mentioned priest, his minister, and the members of the Johrei group, all those that contributed for having rescued him from the bottom of hell and for having brought him to the great bright light that is our church. It's a very nice experience from Enrique. And one more that I would like to share with you today is from Alexandra da Silva. She's from Recife, Brazil. Alexandra is an administrative manager of a company in the food industry, considered an essential service. For this reason, during the pandemic, she continued to work in person. She was very worried about not being able to stay home, thinking that she might contract the virus and infect her family. The constant news scared her, and she became very tense and found it difficult to sleep. She worked tired and stressed, which began to affect her performance in the job. In early April 2020, her minister called her to see how she was doing. She told him that she had not been socially isolated, and she was surprised when he thanked her for exposing herself and offering her service to society so that there would be no shortage of food. Until that moment, she didn't see her work as a mission to serve others in society. She saw it only as a source of income. After this talk, she reflected a lot and thanked God and Meishu-sama for the opportunity to be helpful and began to pray for everyone who was providing their services during the pandemic. This new perception brought her calm and serenity to continue working as she was able to convey this state of mind to co-workers. A month later, she and her husband contracted COVID-19. She left work and reported the fact to her minister, who advised her to keep doing our practice of faith at home, channeling Johrei, attending our online services, and reading Meishu-sama's teachings. One day, when she was feeling sick, she started crying out to God and Meishu-sama to take care of her so that she would get better soon. At the same time, she felt ashamed that she was making such a self-centered request, because besides her, so many people were with the same purification. She changed, then asked for forgiveness, and prayed that everyone would receive the divine light, thus surrendering this purification into God's hands. Her husband recovered within a few days and started preparing meals and doing household chores. Friends and family offered to do their shopping so they wouldn't lack anything. At all times, she felt the great love and protection of God and Meishu-sama. She continued channeling Johrei at home, reading the divine writings, and attending our online morning and evening services. In approximately 21 days, she no longer had symptoms. She was able to go back to work, and no one else in her family contracted the virus. Alexandra is eternally grateful to God and Meishu-sama for this experience, which gave her spiritual growth and evolution. She understood that even when we are going through difficult times, if we seek to connect with God through gratitude and service, we will receive strength and protection to overcome any obstacles. Her commitment is to continue dedicating to the divine work, seeking to be an increasingly useful instrument in the salvation of others and the realization of paradise on earth. Very nice experience from Alexandra of Recife, Brazil. Thank you very much for listening to these experiences. I wish you a wonderful Saturday, wonderful weekend. Thank you very much.
This brings to a conclusion of our morning service. Thank you everyone for joining us and have a blessed day.